Hey guys, Coach Nate here from the Running Experience. Excited to bring you today's Together We Move workout, which is going to be a run drill that's really going to get you thinking. Now, maybe it's just me, but I get confused a lot sometimes, especially with different running form ideas. There are times where we're told to be really, really tight and engaged and stay tight here and turn on, but at the same time, we need to be relaxed and smooth and fluid as we run. And how can we do both of these competing ideas at the same time? So I thought about it a lot and I've messed around with some ideas and I made a video for you to really figure out how indeed we can do both and why both are super important. Check out this video and enjoy these little drills and strength exercises right after. I know this will be a good, solid run form day for you. Hey guys, Coach Nate here from the Running Experience. If you think about it, running requires these two really important but competing ideas. One, that when we're running, gravity's pulling down on us all the time and we need to support ourselves from falling flat on our face. That's what a lot of our musculature does, not only to support our skeleton, but also just to keep us up off the ground. And the other idea is that we need to be fluid, relaxed, efficient. We need to have literally that sense of flow from one position in stride to the next so that we can connect our movement in that locomotive pattern that we like to call running. And if I'm too far on one side or the other, things start to go off. So we can see when runners start to get tired, they start to look a little bit stiff. Their running just gets a little hitch, right? They look like something is just off a little bit, right? And conversely, we can tell when those runners are in that sweet spot. And that's what today's video is all about, how to find the sweet spot for yourself. Now, to find this sweet spot for our running, we need to understand the role that gravity plays on us as human beings. There's very few times where I can be totally relaxed and have no tension whatsoever. And that is in this position right here, when I'm totally laid down, I'm completely supported by my bed or the ground or whatever, and I can just be completely turned off, relaxed. That's why we sleep here. That's why it's very difficult to sleep standing up, although I'm sure some people out there have figured it out. Even when I just shift from, say, a laid down position to sitting up here, all of a sudden I have a little bit more tension. This gravity's pulling me down this way. For me to not just be a blob, I have to get those spinal erectors firing, my abdominals going, and just everything turned on. And then finally, by the time I stand up, even more tension and support's required. And then all of a sudden, when I go into one leg, even more. So you can start to see that when we go from a laying down position all the way up to standing up to being in that runner position, we're requiring that much more tension to support ourselves. Now, this gravity is exerting on us whether we want it to or not. So you better believe it. Even if you're running in the worst position possible, you are exerting some tension to prevent yourselves from falling into mush on the ground. So the next question becomes not being completely relaxed or being completely tight, but being relaxed and loose in the right areas and being tight and engaged in the right areas. And most of the time we have this reversed. So how do you know if your tension in your body is in the wrong or unproductive places? Well, there's a few different areas to hit. One is, are you someone who holds a lot of tension in your shoulders and neck? You feel a lot of pain, it's really stiff here. Anytime you get a neck massage, you're like, oh my God, this is super painful. It could be even after a long run or a race that you feel especially sore and tender in your shoulders. How is that possible, right? All our legs are supposed to be doing the work. Our upper body's supposed to be pretty relaxed. Other key areas is what's happening with your hips. If you're someone who's not very good at stabilizing here, which we'll get into more, your spine is gonna go to some degree of end range, especially that lumbar spine, to try to find some sense of stability. So we dump our pelvis forward, we try to create stability here, and all of a sudden I'm opening myself up to either low back pain, hip flexor pain. When my pelvis is this far dumped forward, I can't stabilize my hips very well. So my feet tend to crash on the ground, they're a little bit louder. I tend to scuff my feet and I start to see a little bit more of a collapse of my whole leg going in. So if I am putting tension in those unproductive areas, that's sort of the litany of things that can start to happen. So in order to get ourselves going in the other way, we got to figure out, hey, where is that productive place to put that tension? How do we do it? And then how do we maintain it for longer periods? And in order to do that, we got to talk about breathing. So it's helpful to really get a sense of what it looks like when your tension is in the right place, you're relaxed and fluid, and when tension is in the wrong place. We brought in Coach Holly here to show us the difference. So first thing, Holly is going to be in that dialed in spot where she's got a little bit more tension here in the middle, and that's going to allow her to be a little bit more relaxed and aligned through the shoulders and through the feet. And when she starts jumping up and down, right, very light footfall, you really can't hear much at all, right? But as she starts to break down and fatigue and races, she starts to lose this position and the weight goes up into her shoulders, and then you can hear it in the feet, right? The ankles start to get stiff. So we can start to see that this tension is sort of shifting in different places. It kind of goes this way. Here you go, I'll go my thumb down, my thumb up. When we get tired and we break down and we're losing position, but it comes back towards the middle where we want it to be. Now, with runners, it's kind of this nebulous thing to sort of feel, so it's always great to over-exaggerate it. And if we over-exaggerate it, we can build up a body that can be strong enough from start to finish. So that's where strength training comes in. So we're gonna take Holly into a basic plank, and we're just gonna use the forces of gravity against her, where all of a sudden, just by being in this position, all this gravitational force is being pushed down this way, and she's having to create tension, especially through this middle slice, to make sure she's engaged. But there are a lot of people can do a plank and hide, so I wanna make sure that her belly button is pulled to her spine, and also she's really flexing her quads, she's squeezing her butt tight, so that I could put a little tension here and then she's not moving. Now, if she's loose and relaxed, her hips start to sag, her low back starts to get arched, she's technically in a plank, but it's not very productive. So again, remember, we're trying to take tension out of here and shift it down towards the middle, so really, really tight and engaged. And she can come down and rest for a quick second, even though I know you could probably hold that for a while. Now, with running, right, with a plank, I can create a lot of tension, not breathe, and just live here for a little while. But with running, we need some fraction of that tension, and we need to be able to maintain it for long periods of time. And we need to breathe to deliver oxygen to all those working muscles. So in this plank, I need to create just enough tension to maintain support, and I need to breathe through the same way, or at the same time. And that breathing needs to happen into the belly. So Holly's done videos before on breathing into that belly. We want to kind of expand. She should be able to see that belly breathe in and out this way. When she gets into her plank, we should be able to see that belly move a little bit as well. And this is helpful to breathe in and out through the nose, in through the nose, out through the mouth, where I could just add a little bit extra tension, and she's just taking those little sips of air into her belly to create that support. Now, if she was in a gym, I could put a 25-pound plate, put this on her back, or a 45-pound plate, a little bit more, and I could see, hey, how good is she at exerting, higher percentages of tension? You can come right back down, so that I have that armor, right, and the ability to run lighter on my feet. Now, with the plank, we figured out how to develop, way more tension and stability than we'd ever need. And the tricky part is, how do we find the Goldilocks around, the right amount that we need to support ourselves for running while maintaining that sense of fluidity as well? And that's what Coach Holly is gonna do. So I'm gonna hand this over to her, and she's gonna run at different speeds and talk you through it. Enjoy your run.
All right, guys, so we're gonna go through 3 different versions of run speed right here. I'm gonna start nice and easy. Just take this up to a little jog. I'm just gonna tell you, I'm engaging my core. I'm kind of pulling my belly button into the spine, but you can hear I can breathe pretty easy. Nice loose arms. Again, not having to do too much here. The speed is not overwhelming. Now I'm gonna start to take this up a little bit, a little quicker speed. You're gonna see I have to actually drive my arms a little quicker. Feet are moving faster, smaller steps, and I'm having to use that core to keep myself grounded and moving the same way I was when I was doing it easy without losing my form. So I'm asking for more from the effort, and I can do that by increasing my core engagement and still being able to breathe. Let's take that down a little bit. The last version, I'm going to take this up to a much higher speed, and I'm going to really push it here. So I'm going to ask myself for a higher turnover, quicker feet, the most core engagement I could possibly ask for, closest to that plank. those feet. You can see I'm driving my arms back too. And to do this with relaxed shoulders, you better believe that core is on super tight and I'm able to pick it up. All right.